When Vladimir Putin stood before the world in 2022, he believed he was launching a triumphant march into Ukraine, a quick victory, a restored empire, and a moment that would cement his legacy in history. But 3 years later, that dream lies in ruins. His war machine is sputtering, his economy is collapsing, and his regime is bleeding from within. Because this isn't just a war between two nations, it's a war devouring Russia from the inside. A war that has exposed the cracks in Moscow's power and revealed the fragility of Putin's once unshakable empire. As Western intelligence chiefs warn that Russia is running out of money, troops, and ideas, one question now haunts the Kremlin. How long before the empire implodes? At the start of the invasion in February 2022, Russia had what looked like overwhelming strength, manpower, tanks, air superiority, a powerful propaganda machine. Putin called it a special military operation, not a war, because he believed it wouldn't last more than 2 weeks. He expected Ukrainian defenses to crumble. He expected the world to stay silent. But instead, Ukraine fought back. Ordinary citizens picked up rifles. Farmers towed away Russian tanks with tractors. And the world, united, began supplying weapons, money, and intelligence. What Putin thought would be his greatest triumph became his longest nightmare. By mid-2025, Russia's invasion has turned into a slow-motion disaster. According to Russia, Matters.org, Russian forces gained just 146 square miles of territory between September and October, a 34% drop compared to the previous month. In 1 week, they advanced only 13 square miles, barely the size of Manhattan. That's not victory, that's stagnation. On the battlefield, Russia's once feared army has been ground down by modern warfare. According to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, Moscow has lost thousands of tanks, armored vehicles, and artillery systems. Their casualty count may soon reach 1 million, dead and wounded. And yet Putin continues to throw soldiers into the fire. In the city of Pokrovsk in the Donbass, waves of Russian troops were slaughtered in frontal assaults that gained nothing but body bags. Ukrainian drones watched from above, calculating, hunting, striking with precision. The Russians are fighting like it's 1943, the Ukrainians like it's 2040. The battlefield is a proving ground for modern technology, and Russia is losing that race. Ukraine's use of HIMARS rocket systems provided by the United States has changed everything. With surgical precision, they've taken out Russian ammunition depots, bridges, and command centers from 80 kilometers away. Each strike cost Russia weeks of logistics and millions in equipment. Then came the Storm Shadow and SCALPEG cruise missiles, Britain and France's deadly contribution. They sliced through Russian air defenses and hit their targets deep behind enemy lines. Above the skies, swarms of Bayraktar TB2 drones, Switchblade loitering munitions, and now, homemade kamikaze drones roam the front lines. They're cheap, quiet, and lethal, proving that a few $1,000s in parts can destroy a multi-million-dollar tank. Russia, meanwhile, is pulling T-62 tanks from Cold War storage, 60-year-old relics with thin armor and outdated guns. They are no match for Leopard 2s, Challenger 2s, and Abrams tanks now entering the Ukrainian arsenal. For every tank Russia repairs, Ukraine receives 3 modern replacements. For every Russian missile launched, the West sends 10 more to intercept. This isn't just a war of steel, it's a war of innovation. And Russia has fallen decades behind. While the front lines crumble, the home front collapses. The Russian economy, once propped up by oil, gas, and weapons exports, is now a shadow of itself. Sanctions have frozen $300 billion in foreign reserves. Oil exports have been rerouted to China and India, but at discounts so deep, profits have evaporated. The ruble has lost over 70% of its value since the war began. Inflation is soaring, and everyday Russians are struggling to buy food, medicine, or basic goods. Western brands are gone, replaced by low-quality imports from Asia. Even Russia's elite are quietly panicking. Their yachts have been seized, their overseas assets frozen, their freedom to travel gone. Putin's fortress Russia has turned into a prison of his own making. Behind Ukraine's survival lies the power of the West. The United States, European Union, and NATO have created the most unified military coalition in modern history. The U.S. alone has supplied $185 billion in total assistance since 2022, from HIMARS and Patriot missiles to armored vehicles and ammunition. The EU has provided financial aid, air defense systems, and joint training programs. Germany has committed to raising military spending to 5% of GDP, a figure unseen since the Cold War. Britain has sent Storm Shadows and tactical vehicles. Poland has become a logistics hub for Ukrainian operations. Meanwhile, Western factories are running 24/7, producing shells, drones, and radar systems faster than Russia can destroy them. And in the skies above Europe, Ukrainian pilots are already training on F-16 fighter jets, aircraft that will soon change the balance of air power. This isn't just a proxy war, it's a stress test for global democracy. And for now, democracy is holding strong. Back in Moscow, the illusion of control is slipping. Dissent is spreading, quietly but steadily. Reports of desertion have skyrocketed. Thousands of soldiers are refusing to fight. Some units are being filled with prisoners, drug addicts, and even soldiers infected with HIV or hepatitis, sent to the front as expendable cannon fodder. Putin's power relies on fear, but fear fades when hunger grows stronger. The Russian middle class, once loyal, now faces collapsing wages, unemployment, and empty shelves. Parents bury their sons, wives question why, and oligarchs are beginning to wonder whether their leader has lost his touch. If elites lose faith, the system collapses. And Putin knows it. While Russia weakens, Europe transforms. A new coalition of the willing, over 30 nations, has emerged, determined to end dependence on Russian energy and fortify the continent's defense. New drone factories are being built in Germany and Poland. Sweden and Finland have joined NATO, shattering decades of neutrality. This war has redrawn Europe's map, not by borders, but by alliances. Putin's gamble to divide the West has failed spectacularly. Instead of breaking Europe, he's united it. And as Europe rearms, Russia's leverage fades into the cold. Now the question that even Moscow dares not ask aloud: can Russia still win or even survive in this war? Every sign points to decline, militarily, economically, politically. Russia is bleeding out, slowly but irreversibly. Even if it captures a few more villages, the cost in lives, money, and reputation will make victory indistinguishable from defeat. And when history looks back, it won't remember this as Ukraine's war of survival. It will remember it as Russia's war of self-destruction. So the final question isn't whether Ukraine will endure, it's whether Putin will. The cracks in his regime grow wider every day, and the war that was meant to restore an empire may soon end it. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. In our next video, we'll explore how Ukraine plans to use advanced drones and AI-driven warfare to end this conflict, and what it means for global security in the next decade. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep watching the horizon.